Good morning, class. So, let's start today's class with the same topic that I introduced you in the previous class. Do you remember? Models. Yes, so I told you the use of models, how to use them, and how they help in expressing the different attitudes and moods of the speaker. So, in yesterday's class, in the previous class, we had learned how to use models for the purpose of permission, ability, possibility, suggestion, and to make promise. Today, in this class, we will learn the use of models for the purpose of request, necessity or compulsion, or for any kind of provision or to make wish. Clear? So, let's proceed with the class, children. Let's take a glance. What are the models? As I told you, models are the verbs that helps in expressing the mood or the attitude of a speaker. Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to, need to, dare to. These are the some commonly used models. A part of that, while using models, we follow some of the rules also. Like models are auxiliary verb and they are always followed by a main verb in its root form. A part of that, I told you that models don't have their verb forms. Verb forms means they don't have their past and past participle form. Fine, children? Is it clear to you all? So, we have already learned the use of models with permission, where may, can, could are used, then with the ability, possibility, suggestion, advice or obligation, and with promise. Today, ma'am will proceed with the use of model, means how to use models for request purpose. Clear? Now, children, please pay attention. If you want to make a request, if you want to make a request or want to ask something, so normally we use imperative sentences. Okay, like please pass me that water, or please pass me my book, or please give me something to eat. This is a very informal way of speaking. Now, with models we can make them more polite. So the models that are used for the request purpose, that are would, could, will, and can. Now see how to use them. So when you want to make a request, we can use these models: would, could, will, can. But what is the main difference between all these models? Suppose my sentence is, could you switch off the fan? So when I say, could you, so could expresses a polite request. If you don't use this could, simply you say switch off the fan. So it's very harsh. It is not the proper way of making a request. What is the proper way of making a request? How do we say that? Could you switch off the fan? Or could you shut the door? Or would you buy me some woolen, please? So what are these? These are the polite way when you use could or would while making the request, so it makes your language more polite. Now let's come to the use of will and can. Beta, when we use will or can while making the request, so we are talking in an informal manner. Informal manner means when you talk to a person of your peer age, means when the person is of your same age or younger than you. So at that time, you are free to use will or can with your request, because that is an informal way of talking. But when it is asked to use a formal language or being more polite, so which models will be used? Would or could. So could you switch off the fan, or could you turn off the fan, or could you turn on the light, or would you please pass me my accessories? So these are formal ways. They make your language polite. Now when you say, will you leave me alone please? or will you give me that object, or will you help me? So these are the informal ways to speak out. Same as with can also. Can I have some tea? Or can I have some water? Or can I have something to eat? Or won't you have something to eat? So they show that you are talking to someone who is of your age, of your peer group. Clear? So next time when you make a request, which model you are going to use? Would or could? Would and could will show your make you more polite, while the use of will and can will show an informal way of speaking. Now let's come to necessity or compulsion. When you want to show the necessity, now let's first understand what are the meanings or the difference between necessity and compulsion. Necessity means the thing that is important, and compulsion means when you are forced to do something that you think is not important for you. That is compulsion. Okay, let's try to understand with the help of an example. Suppose you take a glass of milk every day. You love milk, okay? So that is your necessity. But if you don't like milk and you have to drink it every day, so that is your compulsion. You are forced to drink that. So when you love the milk and you love drinking it, so I must drink milk every day. But when you don't like the milk and you are forced to drink it every day, so I have to drink the milk every day. So man has used two models to express necessity and compulsion. What are these two models? Must and have to. Must suggests the desire of the speaker, means the speaker wants that something to do, while have to suggest an external compulsion, the speaker is forced to do something. So when you do something willingly, अपने मन से करते हैं कोई काम willingly, so you use must. But when you do something unwillingly, मन से नहीं करते हैं, करने का आपका मन नहीं करता है, so you are forced. So that is your compulsion. So with the help of must and have to, I can easily understand whether the subject is doing that work as a necessity or as a compulsion. You must pay the dues on time. So here must, this model is showing that the subject is doing that work willingly. It is the desire of the subject to do that work. So must is showing the necessity. Clear? Now, in army, you have to polish your shoes every day. Here, have to is clearing out that the subject is forced to do that work. You, that is subject, is forced to polish his shoes every day in army. So this is a compulsion for him. The subject is not doing the work willingly. Now, I am getting tired. I must take a nap. What is nap? Nap is a short sleep. Okay. Now, I am getting tired. I must take a nap. So, must is showing that it is the necessity of the subject. The subject is doing that work willingly. Okay. Now, in the last sentence, I have got to finish this work by evening. So, here the use of have to is expressing clearly that the subject is forced to do. It is a compulsion for the subject to do this work. So, in a very easy manner, you can clear out your intention to the listener that whether you are doing the work willingly or unwillingly. While speaking, when you say, I must do this, so it means that आपका मन है वो करने का. But when you say I have to do this, What does it mean? आपका मन नहीं है वो काम करने का. You are forced to do. Clear? So these are the two models that are used for expressing the necessity or the compulsion. Now let's learn the use of models for the prohibition. Prohibition means when you are not allowed to do something. जब आपको कोई काम करने के लिए मना करना होता है तो that is prohibition. You are not allowed to do something. Clear? Like so, for prohibition purpose, we use two models that are must not or ought not to. Clear? As they you are saying no, you are denying to the person. That's why not is used with must and ought to. So now let's see how to use them. My first sentence is cars must not be parked in front of the gate. What does it mean? Means you are not allowed. So for not allowed, which word I am using here? Must not. Cars must not be parked in front of the gate. So must not is showing that it is prohibited here. Clear? Now the second sentence is you ought not to make fun of an old man. So when you use ought not to instead of must not, so this ought not to showing a moral duty of the person, means morally the person should not do that thing. So the person, the subject is taking as a duty that he is not allowed to do that thing. It is his moral duty not to make a fun of an old man. So it is clear to you when must not is used. It means that that task is prohibited to do at that time but can be excused in some other condition. Means you can do. Cars must not be parked in front of the gate. Right now it's okay, you are not allowed to park in front of the gate, but some other day or in some other situations it can be allowed. Okay, but when I say you ought not to make fun of an old man, means that never ever you can't make fun of that old man, never ever. Morally it is wrong. So I hope it is clear to everybody what is the difference between the use of must not and ought not to. Both the models are expressing the prohibition, but must not is expressing a provision that can be excused in some other condition, but ought not to is expressing a provision where it is the moral duty of the subject not to do that. Clear? Now, junk food must not be eaten regularly. What does it mean? It is a provision. It is prohibited to you. You should not eat, you must not eat junk food every day, but sometimes it can be taken. But when I say you ought not waste your resources to save them for future. So ought not is expressing the moral duty of the subject that no, it should not be done. Never ever. Clear, children? So whenever your intention is to speak out for any prohibition, so you use two models. What are those two models? Must or ought. Ought to. Clear? Must not and ought not to. Must not expresses a prohibition, means it is prohibited at that moment, but in some other condition can be allowed. But ought not to is expressing that you are not at all allowed to do that thing in any of the conditions. Now let's come to express how to express your wish. Suppose you want to wish someone, you want to make a pray for someone. So which model is used? May. M-A-Y, may. So may is normally used to express a wish. You must have listened to the people saying that may God bless you. Or may God bless you with peace and contentment. Contentment means fully satisfied, when you are happy whatever you have. You don't have any grudges, you don't complain for, you are fully satisfied. So that is known as contentment, when there is no greed for getting more. So that is known as contentment. I am a contentful person. Okay. So here may, may model is expressing that the speaker is making a wish. May God bless you with peace and contentment. Now second is may you realize your ambition. Same as you must have heard, may his soul rest in peace, or may God give him enough strength to stand in such adversities, or may God bless you with prosperity, may God help you. So what are these all? Here you are making wishes with the help of a model. And what is that model? That model is may. Clear? Now, next model here, there is a model. It is not any attitude. Clear? There is a model. What is there? There as a model means not to be afraid to do something. जब आपको किसी काम को करने से डर नहीं लगता है, so dare, that means dare shows the courage of a person. When you say, I dare not do this, so it is showing your courage, your challenge. You are accepting or challenging someone. So when your purpose of speaking is to challenge someone or to show your courage, which model will be used? Dare. Like, I dare not tell him lie. Means मैं courage ही नहीं कर सकता हूँ उसको झूठ बोलने का. So I dare not tell him lie. I dare to call you a cheat. Means I have the courage to call you a cheat. I dare to call you a cheat. Who dare deny it? इसमें इतनी हिम्मत है कि मुझे मना करे. Who dare deny it? Okay. So when you want to challenge someone or when you want to express your courage, so we use dare. It is used mostly in negative sentences and in question. Means most of the time, their model is used whether in negative form or an in or in an interrogative form. Clear, children? Now, so it's time for a revision. Let's take a glance that we have studied in these two periods. Uh, we have learned the use of models. What are the models? The models are the verbs that helps in expressing the mood or the attitude of the speaker. Then after that, we have learned the rules, some of the rules related to the models. What are that? That models are always followed by a main verb, and that main verb is always in its root form. And then we have learned that the models don't have their verb forms. Means whether in present or future, or in past, in whatever tense you are using the models, they are always used in the same manner. Accepting can or will or may. Means these are the some of the models that have only their past form. Okay, but not the past participle form. Clear? Now let's come to the revision work. I told you that how to use the model for the permission. For permission, we use may, can, and could models. Where may is a formal way of taking the permission. Can is an informal way of taking the permission, and could is more polite. Means may and could can be kept in one category. Then come to the request. For making a request, would and could, these two models expresses more politeness, okay, in your language, while will and can are the informal way of making a request. For ability, to show someone's ability, we use can, could, and be able to. So can shows the ability of a person in present, while could shows the general ability of a person in past. And be able to, I am able to. What is be? Be is the form of is, like I am able to do this, or he was able to do this. So able to do the able to shows the ability of a person in a particular situation. Now let's come to possibility. To show any kind of possibility that it may rain today, or it may be shiny, or he may come to meet you, or they may make a call to their parents. So to show such kind of possibilities, we use may, might, and could, where may shows a strong possibility, might shows a weak possibility, and could shows a very very weak possibility, and that also be in future. Now when you want to make a wish, we use may. Okay, may God bless you. Same as to make promise. For the promise purpose, we use will or shall. I will give you a good gift on your birthdays. You are making a promise. Or they shall come to meet you. This is also a promise you are making to the listener. Clear? Now, to for the purpose of necessity and compulsion. For necessity, we use must, and for compulsion, we use have to. A part of have to, had to, will have to, and have got to. These are the some other models that are used for the compulsion purpose. Clear? Now, for prohibition means when you are not allowed to do something. For prohibition purpose, we use must not and ought not to. So, must not shows that it is prohibited to the subject, and ought not to shows that it is the moral duty of the subject not to do it. Clear? Now, suggestion, for suggestion or advice or obligation, we use two models. The first one is should, and the second is ought to. The main difference is in the degree. Degree means when you say you should consult a doctor, so you are not emphasizing must means the you are asking the person to do it in with the tendency of 80% only. Okay, but when you say you out to consult a doctor, means that person must go with the 100% of tendency. You are asking the person to follow you. If there is no other option not to do it. So when you say should means आप ज़्यादा force नहीं कर रहे हैं. But when you say out to, you out to study every day. That means you are asking the person to follow your words and all conditions. Okay. So a part of that here, children, you on the PDF you can see that on my slide that could. This model could can be used for permission, request, ability, and possibility. Okay, but their according to their use, their tendency and the purpose is also different. Like with the permission, could is very formal way of speaking. With the request also, it's a formal way of speaking, polite, more polite that is. While with the ability, could shows a weak possibility. Okay, and with ability, could shows the ability in past, while with possibility, could shows a very very weak possibility. Same as may is used for the purpose of permission, possibility, and wish. And it is clear that with the permission, it is a formal way of taking the permission. With the possibility, it may shows a strong possibility, and wish, that is the only model that has been given to it. Now let's come to can. Can is used for permission, for informal way of asking permission. In the request, informal way of taking the request. And for ability, can shows the ability of the person in present. Same as you can see the use of will for the purpose of promise, and to show for showing the compulsion in future also. Out to, out to is use of provision when it is a moral duty of the person. Same as for suggestion and advices also. There in the in the case of suggestion and advices also, out to is the moral duty of the person. So here it is clear. So never get confused that could is used for the permission and the for request or the ability also, and for the possibilities also. You have to keep it in your mind, children, for which purpose you are using these models. Clear? That's all for today's class. Ma'am has already forwarded your homework in the app. All the children are going to solve these exercises on their own, and the solutions are also provided, and later you will cross check your answers. And nobody is going to straightforward copying down the answers. No, beta. Without trying, you can't judge yourself that if the concept is clear to you or not. Ma'am has cleared you that models are very important to know. Why it is so? Because they make us more polite, they make us more cultured, they teach us etiquettes while talking to others. Am I clear to everybody? I know my all the children are going to keep my words. That's all for today's class, children. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.